point in the Championship.
Norwich do the same in League One, while our only winners were Colchester, who stay top of the table. Donovan Blake reports.
Staying positive is Roy Keane's way of thinking after Ipswich's goalless draw with Leicester. Defensively, he was pleased with a clean sheet, although Leicester did cause a few nervous moments. It's Town's attacking prowess which Keane is very keen to get right. Jonathan Walters and Connor Wickham having their best efforts.
We do have to look certainly more sharper. We have to test our keeper a bit more. But having said that, again, it is early in the season and we're trying different players, new combinations, the same in the middle of the park.
Darren Ferguson's Peterborough don't look out of place in the Championship so far. Now he wants a win to quickly underline that fact after drawing against Sheffield Wednesday. Craig McHale-Smith scored their equaliser in the second half. 2 games, 2 wins for Colchester as they sit top of League One, bouncing back from their midweek Carling Cup defeat to score twice in the first half against Yeovil. Jamie Vincent's header adding to David Fox's earlier strike as they won 2-1. Despite the managerial merry-go-round at Carrow Road, Norwich are on the board. Their first game following Brian Gunn's dismissal promised much at Exeter, and it was one of the 12 new players he brought in this summer, Jens Bertel Askew, who gave them the lead. It was a lead quickly wiped out, though, Richard Logan grabbing the equaliser, but something to build on. Once again, Southend are reflecting on one which got away. They came back from a goal down against Walsall, with the homekeeper generous to the extreme. 4 goals in 3 games for Lee Barnard, who then provided the assist for Dougie Friedman to make it 2-1. But they couldn't hang on, with Sam Parkin's penalty denying them 3 points. Donovan Blake, Anglia News.
Now, it may be August, but Norwich Theatre Royal have just announced Tony Slattery as the star of this year's Christmas pantomime. The actor's no stranger to Norfolk, most recently seen as Sydney in ITV's Kingdom, which is filmed and set in the county. He'll be playing the Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood.
Next tonight, in the Suffolk seaside town of Aldeburgh is so fed up with people feeding the seagulls, well, they've decided to get a bit tough.
The local council has introduced a fine of up to £2,500 for anyone found guilty of chucking chips on the ground.
But is it a valid deterrent or a little bit steep for dropping your chips? Well, we sent Martin Stew along to get a taste of local opinion.
There's nothing more British than a trip to the coast. Donkey rides, bracing swims and optimistic attempts at sunbathing. It's fun for all the family.
And of course, no trip to the seaside is complete without a bag of chips. But if you're coming here to Aldeburgh, be very careful what you do with your leftovers.
See, the town and coastal councils are so fed up with people dropping chips and feeding the gulls, they've decided to do something about it. A fine for up to £2,500.
I mean, it's a rather steep fine, isn't it? I mean, 2,500 for a chip.
I think it's a good thing, because I think the seagulls do cause a problem. They cause a problem to the holiday makers and they cause a problem to the environment. So, yes, I think it's a good thing, but possibly 2,500 may be a little bit high.
I think it's a good way of deterring people, but it's a bit extreme, especially in a recession when we're trying to pay for like uni fees as well. If we accidentally drop a chip, then it's just going to like cost far too much.
A point I put to the town's mayor.
Isn't £2,500 a little bit steep for dropping a chip?
Well, I suppose you could say so. Dropping a chip is a slightly different thing. You do get some people who do tend to come here, have a few chips, and then they'll just throw them on the beach. You end up with a load of rubbish and a lot of gulls about, and they are starting to get to the stage where they're swooping on people, and they really ought to be fending for themselves.
The mayor admits they're unlikely ever to fine anyone the maximum amount, but he hopes the signs will act as enough of a deterrent to make feeding the gulls old news. Martin Stew, Anglia News, Aldeburgh.
Did you notice, though, Martin holding onto his chips for